Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. Welcome to It's Time for More Injury Funding, the podcast for all who want to learn about legal funding and its significance in personal injury, medical malpractice, trucking law, workers' compensation, pedestrian injuries, and many other types of law practice domains. I'm your host, Laura, founder and CEO of More Injury Funding, the legal funding counselors with passion for law, medicine, legal funding, and heart for all suffering individuals. More Injury Funding is a sponsor, member, associate, board member, or business partner of this podcast, Georgia Trial Lawyers Association, Academy of Truck Accident Attorneys, Sandy Springs Bar Association, Georgia Association for Women Lawyers, GOLD for short, Georgia Association for Paralegals, Atlanta Legal Aid Society, State Bar of Georgia, St. Andrew Rowing Club, Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and Georgia Council of Chiropractic. In today's episode, I have a very special guest, personal injury attorney, Seth Price with Price Benowitz Accident Injury Lawyers, LLP, based in Washington, D.C. And this firm, attorneys believe that true representation goes beyond the courtroom. Seth knows that having excellent legal counsel isn't enough if clients don't feel supported throughout their journey. Their dedicated customer service team ensures a smooth experience addressing every question and concern. Seth and his team aim for their clients to be just as satisfied with their experience with the firm as they are with the results of their cases. Today, we delve into a topic of leveraging digital marketing in law firm growth. At the end of the episode, I have prepared a fun pop-up question for our guests, so stay tuned. Welcome to Time for More Injury Funding podcast, Seth.
Great to be here.
Thank you so much. Can you please introduce us to your law firm and how long you've been in business?
So Price Benowitz, we are entering our 20th year. We serve DC, Maryland, Virginia, South Carolina, and we started as a criminal defense practice, but we now have personal injury and a number of other practice groups as well. And as you know, I created a marketing company. It was my in-house digital group that built Price Benowitz to almost 50 lawyers today. And Blue Shark Digital now services about 300 law firms around the country.
That's fascinating. So where are you? How many offices do you have altogether?
We are throughout DC, Maryland, Virginia, South Carolina, have some outposts around the country. I'm a big advocate because of our criminal footprint. We have probably over a dozen actual offices representing clients in a variety of different practice areas.
That's amazing. How would you define digital market in the context of a law firm? What distinguishes it from traditional marketing approaches?
Well, I guess for me, digital marketing in my world has been starting with website as the home base and then layering on different elements, right? First is search optimization to get your website seen beyond other websites that are out there. Local search has been near and dear to my heart in the company, where we look at the different offices you described and use that as an area for expansion, looking at different practice areas and how we can leverage that within a site if there are multiple different practice areas. And then over time, adding in PPC, more recently LSAs, local service ads, paid social, and other elements that are online in the digital universe versus offline like TV, radio, or billboards.
Mm-hmm. And who are your biggest competitors in the market nowadays?
I mean, look, there are no shortage of people that raise their hand for digital, some in the legal space, some out. To me, if you're trying to service the legal community and you're not legal focused, you're really at a disadvantage to those people that live this day in and day out. And so there's probably 3 to 5 people out there that are circling in the same space. I think our differentiation is, I'm a lawyer. I built a law firm. We have a test kitchen where we can try things out before we subject our clients to it. Some of our clients actually want to be test kitchens. We're thrilled to do that. Mm-hmm. But coming from a legal perspective, we see the pitfalls that are out there, the risks, and some of the things about running a firm. Like every day there's something new and another obstacle to deal with. So, while there are other people that raise their hand for it, I'm really proud of our team at Blue Shark Digital and what they've been able to accomplish and the quality, just like you mentioned for the law firm. Mm-hmm. It's not just about building a website and optimizing it. It's truly becoming a partner with your clients. Probably no different than funding. There are a lot of people and you can negotiate on price, but are you going to be the person that helps figure out what the right solution is for somebody? And when it's not right, I'll tell somebody, if somebody's, gross revenue is at $200,000, they shouldn't be doing high-end SEO. Rather, they should be doing something much more cost-effective, unless they're independently wealthy or they have funding for the firm, that you're not going to be able to pull that out of cash flow. So being smart about it, and that somebody who's treating your money as their money, or your assets as their assets, that's my goal. And it's been a lot of fun and rewarding, but lawyers aren't easy, as you know. And so figuring out how to make sure that you comport not just with the ownership level, but the C-suite that you're very often dealing with, and making sure you service their needs, not just in a timely manner, but in a cost-effective manner, so that they are, at the end of the day, getting ROI. They're not doing it for their health. They're doing this to gain clients. And if we successfully help them gain clients at a cost-effective rate, we're going to have a business partner for life.
That totally makes sense. Why should law firms invest in digital marketing?
Well, I would say I don't want to convince anybody to do that. The question is, if you want to invest in digital marketing, I think we are a great place to do it. There are a lot of different ways to make a buck in life. There are people that make money from referrals, from TV, et cetera. I've found personally digital provides an ROI generally that is unmatched in other areas. And over time, things like TV are dwindling, and even TV buyers are coming to us to be able to convert the brand that they're building offline online.
And what are the essential components that every law firm website should have to attract and retain clients, based on your experience, Seth?
Well, there are two questions. What is a great website? Some of that's subjective. What do you like? What's the brand you want to put out there? There are things that are table stakes. It has to load quickly. It has to answer questions. But the thing that I spend my time up at night focused on and geeking out on is, how do I get your site beyond other people? So, somebody else may have an amazing site, but if nobody finds it, it doesn't do them any good. Our job is to make a great site and make sure that it is seen by people when they're ready to buy.
How can a law firm optimize its website for search engines?
Well, the firm can do it just as well as an agency, and I'll tell people what to do. If they want to go do it themselves, God bless. But, just like somebody could go get a money line and do their, I guess they can't lend to clients, but there are lots of ways to do lending. So basically making sure that you're doing the basic fundamentals. Are you having title tags right? Meta descriptions? Is your site writing? Is your code right? Is your schema right? Do you have good content? Do you have good links? All of that comes together. And so whether you use an outside agency, an in-house agency, or you do it yourself and you're starting out, I'm agnostic to that as long as it's done.
What are some common SEO mistakes that law firms should avoid?
Let's see. Making sure, things like right now, the hottest mistake I see people doing is, ChatGPT, that's great. I'll flood my site with ChatGPT. Google doesn't want to see that. They want to see human content. They want a good user experience, but they're going to zing you if you just start dumping ChatGPT in there. I think it is making sure that while you continue to optimize for Google, that at the end of the day, it has to be a good user experience, and that Google's algorithm is getting closer and closer to basically trying to ensure a good user experience. And if you keep focusing on a good user experience, the Google algorithm over time will reward you.
Absolutely.
Not in the answer to your question, not doing that would be the mistake people make.
I see. What role does local SEO play in law firms' digital marketing strategy, and how can firms optimize their presence for local searches?
Look, local is becoming more and more important. In some cases, it's more important than traditional SEO. Google has a radius they're going to show around your office. Just like if you wanted to order a pizza, you might type in pizza near me. Google is now implying near me, even though if you had a truck accident case, you might not care about driving across town to get the best lawyer. However, Google is giving less and less radius. So local search and competing and thinking strategically about where your offices are placed is becoming more and more important.
How can law firms develop a content marketing strategy that resonates with their target audience?
I think it's reflecting on what you want to be found for, seeing what the competition is doing, and creating great content that answers the questions that people are interested in. As you do that and you build it out, and you don't look at it like I need a page of content to check the box, but rather as you think of it as being a thought leader and you are the best answer for a question, the consumer's going to like it and Google's going to like it even more.
What types of content do you recommend? Blogs, videos, podcasts, anything else?
Yes. Everything. Look, on the website itself, evergreen content is very important, and you have to make sure you have that. But content, and Podcasts, great. You're doing one once a week. God bless. That's awesome. If you hated podcasts, my law partner, he said, I want a podcast. I made him a podcast. He did 2 or 3 of them. Hasn't done one in 3 years. Right?
It's
So,
a lot of work, let me tell you.
but if you like being on camera, be on camera. If you don't be like on camera, don't be on camera. Figure out what you like, outsource what you don't like doing, and just, as Nike says, just do it.
Just do
Keep
it.
doing it, pound it and pound it again.
I love it. In what ways can content marketing help law firms establish authority and trust in their respective legal fields, whether it's PI, workers' compensation, anything else, lemon law?
I mean, what it's doing is it's showing you as a trusted authority, right? For you, if you say, hey, I'm legal funding, great. Well, you have a page on it, and if somebody clicks an ad, they'll be there. But does that make you an expert? No. But if you have deep content that shows all the different types of legal funding, all the pitfalls, case studies of what's worked, case studies of what's not worked. Lawyers, as you know, have a love-hate relationship with funding. It's great when you fund a client's work. At the same time, that money, if spent, may change the ability to settle a case. And so while you want to get the money on the street and the client loves getting that money, it may prevent the lawyer from easily settling a lawsuit and having to having a less happy client. And I think that the more that you put content that gives those nuances, that shows that you really understand it and you're not selling somebody, hey, here's money, but rather, hey, I get it and I know when to be careful about giving somebody money because it may hurt your business. I want to be your partner and not your adversary.
Totally makes sense. Do you have any tips, Seth, or advice on how can law firms effectively leverage case studies and client testimonials in their content strategy?
I mean, I think it's just using them, getting like anything you can do. It's not, we're not in 2013, we're in 2025. And the idea is how can you show yourself both graphically, video, look and feel, all those different pieces. What are those different pieces that are going to resonate with a potential client?
Which social media platforms are most effective for law firms and how should they tailor their approach for each?
Yes. What I'm saying is pick the platforms that you think are going to resonate with your audience and dive deep. It's not like there's a magic formula, but there are people that make money in a bunch of different ways. And the idea is leveraging it. Historically, in the personal injury space, social media has not been as great of a conversion factor. There are people, use Top Dog as an example, that go top of funnel that have done very, very well, Morgan as well. But if you're not going to put the resource to go top of funnel, then it's good for brand reinforcement. It's great for retargeting. It historically has not been the place for $1, but it is part of an overall digital strategy.
What are some effective strategies for law firms to engage in their audience on social media?
I think it's meet them where they're at. And I would also say that the ones that I've seen that are most successful don't always go legal first. Some have, but a lot of the people are ones that build deep roots as a community, whether it be food reviews, whether it be something fun. Listening to somebody talk about slip and falls, not that exciting.
Right.
Exceptions to every rule. There are people that have done that, and God bless them. But many of the ones that have scaled it are ones that don't talk about legal every day, but rather build a brand and resonate in the community. The old adage was it was a cocktail party. Don't talk at somebody, but have a conversation. The closer you get to a conversation, the better.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. How can law firms utilize email marketing to nurture leads and maintain client relationships?
Email marketing is one that I think most effectively is, with the idea is once somebody has reached their hand, you want to make sure that they're constantly in your orbit. For some types of law, it's an immediate, like you're arrested, you need somebody within the next 2 weeks. But other areas like trust and estates, family, people are always thinking, hey, have I updated my will documents? Or, I'm not that happy in a marriage. I want to do something I don't know when. And so continuously hitting people over time can be very valuable because you've spent the money to market, you've brought them into your fold, and the person's not ready to buy today, but it might be a year from now, and making sure you stay top of mind. Email, especially with permission to do it, is an awesome way to do that. Although becoming less and less effective as we get so many emails.
That's true. Are there some effective ways for law firms to grow their email subscriber list?
In-person events, opt-ins from ads, opt-ins from social, all of those can be wonderful.
Mhm. When we talk about the PPC and social ads, how can law firms leverage pay-per-click or PPC advertising and social media ads to generate leads and increase visibility?
I mean, that's what they're for. I mean, that's why you use them. You're paying. It's usually it's a much lower ROI than it is from organic, but it's generally much more certain when it works. So I say test, test, and test, and figure out what works for you. Make sure you have a really good response team. That's true for all of this, but nothing much more than for pay-per-click, where you're paying for a click or for a call on LSAs, making sure you answer the phone.
Good, good. What metrics should law firms track to measure the effectiveness of their digital advertising campaigns?
I think you need to track your conversions and tie those back. The sooner you get to the closed loop where you know, and it's not perfect, you're not going to attribute perfectly, and there are a lot of people that touch many things, but if your paid search people don't get conversion data, you're missing out, and that's really important.
Do you recommend any particular tools or technologies for law firms looking to enhance their digital marketing efforts?
With the conversion piece or with the build out of the SEO?
Both.
I mean, for conversion, stuff, call tracking, call rail, and others, very valuable to figure out where the calls are coming from. For SEO, there are lots of third-party tools like Ahrefs and, and others like that we use for, measuring and testing what we're doing to see how effective the work is that we're doing.
Do you see any emerging trends in digital marketing that law firms should be aware of in coming years?
Well, I mean, the integration with AI is one that I think everybody keep their eye on. It's happening. It's not coming back. There are areas that you may see decreases in traffic as AI is answering questions. For the moment, the search-based queries are going through traditional search, and so while you may see your traffic fall, it's keeping an eye on the leads and the conversions, and have they fallen. That's really what we're keeping our eye on.
This was so great, Seth. Again, I hope this episode about leveraging digital marketing in law firm growth was informative and educational. And as promised, here's fun pop question for you. Are you ready, Seth?
Ready.
Okay, let's do it. If you could have dinner with any legal figure from history, real or functional, who would it be and why?
Let's see. Well, I had a great dinner with John Morgan on the night before COVID at his house in Maui.
Wow.
And that goes down as a real one that I did do. But for anybody in the history, wow, that's a great question.
Yeah, you can think about it. Or if you have a couple of people, it's totally fine.
I would say that John Bisnar is a guy who was at the very forefront of law firm Bisnar Chase, now owned by Chase. He sold the firm, but Bisnar was at the very forefront of digital marketing in the legal space, right up there with Tim Stanley from Justia. And I would say having Tim Stanley and John Bisnar at a dinner table would be the bucket list for me.
Yeah, so hopefully it happens soon for you. Seth, that was again amazing time spent with you today. If anyone needs your professional help and is looking for Price, Benowitz Accident Injury Lawyers LLP in Washington, D.C. or anywhere around the nation, how can they reach you? They can Google me. I'm on all the socials. I love the stuff. Feel free to reach out. I'm friends with a lot of people in your audience, and anybody that is, forget about spending money with me. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to give you as much point in the right direction as I can. I love it. That was again attorney Seth Price with Price Benowitz Accident Injury Lawyers LLP. I want to thank you all for listening and watching our story today. For more tips and tricks on legal funding and personal injury and medicine related topics, follow me, download, like, and subscribe. For It's Time for More Injury Funding podcast on several podcast platforms, including but not limited to Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, and others worldwide. And follow More Injury Funding on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, Google Business Profile, and my website at moreinjuryfunding.com. I can't wait to see and hear you, my dear listeners and viewers, at my next upcoming episode soon. Until then, be well. Thank you.